Hello everybody, it's Epiostastic. Been gone for a while, but I guess it's time to make those videos and do it for free. Anyway, so I'm going to be talking about Dragon Ball FighterZ and why the hell it's holding itself back. So Dragon Ball FighterZ has easily become one of the most popular fighting games out there today. At a surface level, you could say it's due to the Dragon Ball brand. I mean, at this point in time, everyone is familiar with the series, especially people really into the gaming sphere. However, its success and longevity is thanks more to what's under the hood. Underneath the enticing and exciting veil that is the Dragon Ball license, there's a sound, technical, fun fighting game. It's a 3v3 fighter that has similar mechanics to Marvel vs. Capcom, but forgoes the initial skill barrier and instead welcomes you with accessibility. You can simply button mash and crazy stuff is going to happen that will get any Dragon Ball fan gleaming with joy. If you do dive deeper though, you find a technical fighter just like the many other popular fighting games out there. It has your footsies, dash cancelling, counters, optimal combos, etc, etc. It's a legit 2D fighting game that can stand toe to toe with other games at EVO. For all its greatness however, it is sorely being held back. You see, Dragon Ball FighterZ has a combo/mechanical template for most of its characters. For one, all characters have a super dash. A super dash is when a character zips across the screen using their aura. It's a great way to extend combos, but a really unsafe way to close the gap between you and your opponent, if done by itself. Now this move isn't so much holding the game back due to mechanical reasons, but from what I can gather, it's more on aesthetic and canonical reasons. If you look at the game's roster, what you'll notice is that the bare minimum to get in the game is that you need to be able to fly, which sadly cuts quite a few potential characters from the game. Some of the most iconic characters in the series can't even fly. Bulma, Muten Roshi, Chi-Chi, and quite a few more. And I refuse to accept that the only reason they're not in the game is because they can't fly. This can be resolved, of course not easily since programming and balancing and tons of other work that would need to be done to get a character finished, but it can be done. For instance, Bulma. Yes, she can't use the Bukujutsu technique. That's how Dragon Ball characters fly. But she can obviously work around this to fly. She's an inventor after all, and not just any inventor, but the best at capsule corporations, which makes everything. She could use a jetpack or a flying ship to super dash. Imagine having Bulma decked out with all sorts of gear and weaponry, with long-range weapons substituting for ki blasts. I mean, Android 16 launches his fist instead of firing ki blasts, so there's no excuse for Bulma. A possible template or inspiration that can be used for Bulma is Tron Bonne from the Marvel vs. Capcom series. It's this kind of creativity and variety with the characters that Dragon Ball FighterZ lacks, which leads me to my next point. Characters fight way too similarly. Dragon Ball FighterZ has a combo template that can be applied to most characters, especially top tier ones, which in part is what makes them top tier. A simple but very common combo you'll see is low medium to standing medium, cancel to jumping light/medium, another light/medium attack, then launching heavy attack, which is followed with a super dash, then light/medium attack followed by another down heavy, but this time you jump cancel using the light auto combo, then cancel into whatever viable special, and close out with whichever level super. Now this combo can be applied to numerous characters. Examples. And it's a reason why I see that Dragon Ball FighterZ lacks variety. This is great of course because people can transition a lot easier compared to other fighters. You'll of course still need to get used to the minor intricacies that make a character different, but your baseline can be the combo template I just mentioned earlier. The glaring downside of this of course is the excitement and challenge in learning new characters, which even extends to matchups. Of course, the more varying the character's moveset and combo ability is, the harder it is to balance that character against the roster. However, the developer of this game is no stranger to having a colorful and varying range of characters in a roster. The developer, Arc System Works, is the same developer of the highly acclaimed Guilty Gear series, which is one of the best and most fun fighting games out there because of its technicality and balls to the wall roster. All the characters play differently from one another, and the transition difficulty from one character to another is much higher compared to Dragon Ball FighterZ. But I think sacrificing that ease and applying more variety between characters is what is needed in Dragon Ball FighterZ, and in turn this will open up the roster to more characters from the Dragon Ball universe. More characters, more fun. And lastly of course, Dragon Ball FighterZ roster is bland. I've talked about this jokingly in a previous video, but I feel it's a great way to close out my argument, and perhaps is the most glaring reason for the Dragon Ball FighterZ not unlocking its true potential. An initial glance at Dragon Ball FighterZ roster and you notice all the greats are here. There's Piccolo, there's Vegeta, and Vegeta. Oh, there's Goku, and Goku, and another Goku. You slowly start to realize that there are too many similar characters. At least Teen Gohan and Adult Gohan are different visually and technically. SSJ Goku and Goku Blue control very similarly, let alone how similar SSJ Vegeta and Vegeta Blue control. I mean, they both stand the same way. Plus, not to seem overtly inclusive and pander to gender politics, but wow, there are only 2 girls in the whole roster? This is weird because even though the Dragon Ball universe is primarily dominated by male characters, there are still a lot more female characters to put in the game than just the 2 already present. I already mentioned how Bulma could work, just do it already and add Chi-Chi while you're at it. I'm sure the wife Goku will have no problem being put in a fighting game, especially since she's a martial artist herself. For a super dash, you could have her ride on Nimbus. There's also Lunch, Videl, and so on and so forth. Don't get me wrong, I love Dragon Ball FighterZ and have loved every minute playing the game since its launch, but at almost 100 hours in, I can't help but notice a few flaws that are holding this game back. Hopefully the last 4 DLC characters to be announced turn a tide and break the mold that this game put in itself, but with what we've been getting so far, I'm not too optimistic. Until then, I'll just be dunking Gokus with Android 16 and showing the true power of Yamcha. P.S. the netcode is pretty bad, so before my prior points, how about fixing that first? So those are basically my thoughts on the game. Thanks for watching the video. If you like what you see and what you heard, hopefully you'll be here for the next video. Also, it'd be cool if you, I don't know, left a like and subscribe. You know, just to help boost my crumbling ego. Anyway, thanks.